Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Mike Bird, founder of ATB and avid beer drinker. I'm not going to say who made this because they're not getting any free plugs on this show without giving up the millions. What do you think, Tiffany? We got Miss Tiffany Merchant Davis and Miss Ann, Jesus Christ.
Evans
in the house. Mm-hmm. All right. We really haven't even started drinking yet. And this is our inaugural ATB, the show. I want to say podcast because I'm so used to saying podcast, but it's really not a podcast. Yeah, it's
ATB the show.
ATB the show. Yeah, this is exclusively on YouTube only, and you have to be a subscriber to see this. So I just want to thank you first, Ann and Tiffany, for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Is that a fake smile? It seems like it seems like Tiffany forced that smile. Yeah.
It was like beauty pageant worthy.
I know. I was trying to figure out what to say, and then I remembered that you just smile when you don't know what to say.
She's locked. She's shy. The cameras are on. The record button is red, and she's locked up. Is that what's happening here?
No, I just didn't know what to say.
All right. Well, you've been up here before.
Maybe that's
been a
why
guest
I'm
on something else. Why?
'Cause
what happened last time?
You got me.
Oh, you're bringing up old stuff.
Secret mic. When I didn't know it was rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no! I told you the mic's always live.
Thanks for the warning me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So Ann, what's going on? You're kind of new to the group, right? You said you've been in for a while, but you've kind of been in the shadows.
Yep.
Yeah. What you do in the shadows?
Just kind of watched what was going on to see if I want to participate.
How's that going?
Fine. We all went out last night. It was really fun.
Where'd y'all go?
What was the name of where we went again?
It was the Avenue on Glenwood in downtown Raleigh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very fun.
It's a good venue. I like it. You go there. They got an indoor bar with a giant chess set, which I don't think is regulation. I think it's missing some squares. But still, if you know how to move your pawns, you could probably still play there. And they got, pool tables and...
Is it new?
It's been there since November of last year, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then they got a cool patio with, turf out there, and they play cornhole on Tuesday nights, and the place has always got a crowd out there. They might have a crowd tonight, and it's hump day, you know.
It was fun.
Were there, people our age there?
How old are you?
Well, we don't need to talk about that.
Well, 40s, 50s, 30s. I say 30s. Yes.
30s.
I would say so, yeah. Okay. Kind of a mixture.
Tiffany's like, I'm not answering questions.
Yeah, she's like, I'm 25.
Yes.
All right.
I'll be 28 forever.
Well, I know y'all are curious, what's this show about? So I thought it was about time that ATB had its own little podcast or its own little show where we could get out and meet some of the members, discuss certain dating topics that maybe a lot of people want answers to. And maybe you two are experts and can answer some of those questions.
Experts at it not working out. That's me.
Oh, but why things don't work out, from a woman's perspective, right? What are some of the obstacles or roadblocks you run into that keeps you from meeting that special person?
Well, I don't know. It's hard to evaluate because there's a lot of roadblocks. I think first and foremost, it's not really about roadblocks from the people I'm trying to meet. It's just more personal. What are my own roadblocks? How do I limit myself? So I know I'm picky, and I know that, I've made maybe not the best choices people I've dated before. So I think that, a roadblock could be not making the best decisions to pick somebody who's kind of compatible with me. I seem to pick the ones that are not the best choices, but I've worked on that really hard. So I think I'm doing better with that.
Well, why is that, you think? Why do you keep picking the wrong ones?
Well, I think everybody, if it doesn't work out, you could technically say that you're picking the wrong one, but I don't know if it's necessarily the wrong one as far as it's just not compatible with what I'm looking for at that time. So I think a lot of times people pick it's always fun to pick somebody that's more exciting, that doesn't necessarily make you feel so comfortable, that's more of a challenge, but that kind of person also is not always the best person for you to date. I've learned that maybe I need to date somebody who's a little bit more comfortable and, stable, instead of the person who doesn't really give you what you need, both emotionally. I don't know. I'm working on it.
What's your ideal man?
I don't really know. I think the question should be, how do you need to be ideally? Everybody wants to look for somebody who's perfect or their ideal person, but my goal is to be ideal where I want myself to be, and then find somebody who compliments me, because I don't know if I'll ever find anybody who's ideal. That's like finding Prince Charming, right? So what's ideal? Somebody that treats you perfect? Yeah.
No.
Somebody that treats you perfect, that makes you feel awesome all the time. But my goal is to make myself feel awesome all the time and to feel positive within myself, because then I think you're going to attract the people that, only add to that, because you are only responsible for making your own self feel good. Nobody is responsible to make me feel good. They should add to that feeling. They're not responsible for making me feel that way. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I think there is some responsibility there that they have to make you feel good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's some.
Not make you feel bad.
Yes. But you have to interpret it, though. Nobody can make you feel a certain way. How you feel is how you interpret that situation, right? So everybody may interpret it differently. Something that doesn't make me feel necessarily that good may make you feel okay. Mm-hmm. So everybody has a different interpretation of it. It's just how you interpret it. And I think it's better just to get yourself to a level where you're attracting people that are in a healthy mindset and go from there. I'm working on that.
Okay, yeah. That's what we have to do. We have to work on ourselves first, right, before we put ourselves out there. Mm-hmm. What's your take on this, Tiffany?
I definitely think you have to work on yourself before you try to get in a relationship, because I think what I've run into is a lot of people that are just not ready to be in a relationship. And I will say probably the last, 5 years, I've just been dating people that are not ready for a relationship. And they might say they are, and then, it's somewhere around that 3-month mark where they say that's where it usually falls apart because they're actually not ready for a relationship. And they will just say, hey, I thought I was ready, and I'm not.
At the 3-month mark, though, is that like right when you have sex with them for the first time?
Yeah, sure.
Because, the way it works for a lot of guys, okay? And don't get me wrong, I was in a relationship for 2 years and recently single, but before that, a lot of guys, including myself, they just, and I hate to say it because a lot of women will probably judge me over this, but some girls you just know there's no future with, and you just want to have sex with them, and then after you have sex with them, you just kind of float on. And a lot of guys won't admit to it, and that's what a lot of guys do.
It's not like the relationship becomes physical and then they leave. It's not that. It's well after that they just, nothing happens. There's not like an argument, an incident. I think everything's fine. And then I can just, how you feel that shift. Like, something's up. I don't really know what it is, but I try not to make a big deal out of it. And, I don't want to be the let's sit down and talk girl.
Don't you think you might know, though, before it gets to that point?
But you feel it.
Yeah.
Feel it, right?
Oh, my God.
And it's, somewhere between that 2 and 3 month, and you just feel it, and they're like, hey, you're great. And I said, the last guy that I dated and didn't work out, and I said, if you say it's not you, it's me, I'm going to throw up. Because I literally have lost count of how many times I heard that. It's super cliche. What do you mean by that? And I have come to the conclusion it just means they're not ready for a relationship. It's not that I have an issue with you or that there's something wrong or we're not compatible, because I don't have an issue with them either. These guys are not bad guys that are just awful and, I'm not attracted to them or I don't have fun with them or have great conversation or anything like that. I have a special talent for picking guys that aren't interested in commitment.
Yeah, I was in a conversation today with someone, and we were talking about, what is being dateable, because I said I don't think I'm dateable. I'm not dateable. And it's because right now, at a point in my life, I am not 100% into giving my time to focus on a relationship. I can't devote my time to a partner. You know what I'm saying?
So this what you just said is like the kind of guys I date. This is what I do all the time.
But I think when a man tells you that, you have to take that as you can change him.
Yes.
He's not going to change his mind. If he tells you, I am not ready to move this forward at all. I'm busy right now. You can't think, oh my God, he hasn't met me yet. Like, he's going to change his mind. Like, if they tell you that, they mean that.
Yeah.
You're right. And that's been my issue is that, like, well, it's like 4th, 5th date. Everything's fun. They're just like, hey, I just want to let you know I'm not really in a place to be able to offer anybody a relationship right now. And I'm like, I literally just heard that, I don't know, a couple months ago.
So what do you do when you're in that situation? And,
I mean,
you're
I'm fine
not,
with it.
Yeah. So do you just, like, you're a chronic dater and you just go out and just
For
have
me,
fun?
when I hear that, I appreciate hearing that.
Yeah.
Don't string me along. Don't let me waste years of my life with you. And it's not really going to go anywhere. We're just going to be in this phase without any progression. I don't want to do that. And I'm a person that, like, values commitment. So I would stay if there was nothing wrong, even if it wasn't progressing.
Don't you think you deserve more than that, though?
Of course. But, when you're in it, it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Nothing's quote unquote wrong. It's fine. And I think what I have to get over is just settling for fine. Like, fine shouldn't be good enough.
But I think one thing that helps too, and hey, I'm no expert at this, but I started telling myself, I'm not going to stick around for that.
Right.
Like, if you're not ready to see how this can be something different or special, then you can go date somebody else that's okay with you just not making a commitment. I think it's cool, though, to be friends at first and to establish if there's anything there. But after a while, you got to be like, okay, if you don't see my value, then it's done. It's you just got to move on.
Yeah.
And it's, this first episode of ATB the show, we only got women up here besides myself, so it's to bring this up without another male's opinion in the room, it's I don't know, kind of making me feel like maybe I'm wrong over here or something. I don't know, but I'm just thinking
it's good to have a different perspective.
But I think regardless, even if it's a man or a woman, the bottom line is when somebody tells you where they're at, you have to take that for face value. And my thing is now I'm like, if I don't agree with that, I'm just not even going to explore that with that person. Because I don't see the need to believe that somebody's going to change, or if they don't want a relationship or they aren't in the mindset to, like, see what happens and they just want to have fun and I'm not, I have to believe them when they tell me that.
Right.
Well, so as the admin of ATB, I see so many, like, screenshots that members will send to me in my little moderator chat. And it hasn't been so bad, but, man, I'm telling you, it was real bad at some points. It seems like most men interact with women in the site in this way. There's some good ones that don't, but there's a lot of, like, playful banter at first, and then immediately it goes to sex.
Yep.
Immediately. And then it's like, hey, let me see what you're wearing, stuff like that. And then it's like,
favorite text. What are you wearing?
And then the dick pic comes. I've seen so many of those, and it's men that I'm thinking, wow, he posts a lot in the group. Like, he's out there, and then you get a screenshot of his dick, and I'm like, what? No way. That dude, oh my God.
First of all, dicks are not, like, attractive. They aren't. They look like
What?
They look like Shar-Pei
Then
puppies.
why do women love them so much? A lot of women
because
do.
no woman's gonna say, "Oh my God, like that." You're not gonna tell a man the truth if it's not attractive, but like we care more.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. I just think that maybe a guy would be better off sending like a full body picture or sending something where he can connect with her emotionally. If he's sending a dick pic, he just wants to have sex with her.
I don't want it unless I ask for it.
He's
If I
fishing.
ask for
He's
the picture, then you can
He's-
send it.
What are you
Don't
supposed-
just send me a picture that I didn't have, and I'm just like checking my phone, and I'm like, whoa.
What are you supposed to say? Oh, thanks, or yeah, that's not as big as I was
I
anticipating.
have said,
No.
ew, why did you send me that? That's what I say.
But the
Yeah.
thing is,
Yeah.
some women will look at that and be like, "Oh yeah, some women like it. He's fishing. He's throwing the bait out." Granted, 80% of the time, 90% of the time, he's going to strike out. But there's that one small percentage
Yeah.
out there that's going to say, "Yeah, I like that."
Because
When you want to hook
Guys
up,
aren't
that's where their
original.
mindset is.
Yeah.
They're just not original. It's the same messages all the time. Like, hey, how are you? Being friendly at first, maybe even flirty, and then it, like Mike said, instantly goes into something sexual, and it's just really discouraging. Like,
Yeah,
you're
you're
I'm in my
disappointed.
late 30s, and I usually date older, and I would think that they would have something else to message.
But I think it's up to us women to be like, you know what? I was really looking forward to getting to know you, but you just fucking ruined it by sending me a picture of your little dick,
Little
or
wiener.
So
no.
I think I put off a vibe now because I was talking to Mike about this. I have not dated anybody in the group. Like, I had invited some guys to the group that I had dated before or something, and they're nice and it just didn't work out. But like actually meeting somebody in the group and dating them. So I actually had a guy call me out in the group, and he's like, well, men always send pineapples and the women aren't sending pineapples. And I was like, if I saw somebody I was interested in, I would absolutely send a pineapple. And he's like, so you mean you've been in this group all this time and you never sent anybody a pineapple? And I was like, no. And he was like, there's almost 4,000 people in this group and there's nobody interested in, like, calling me out about it. And I said,
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
And he's like, I found that interesting. Like, is it really?
Well, I think they just think because they look sexy or they send you a picture of their dick that we're going to be like, oh my God, I can't wait to meet you. Like,
To me, it speaks to, like, I'm not interested in everything thrown at me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not the girl that's, like, desperate to date somebody. Like, I've been divorced for 10 years. I am not just jumping back into a relationship. I've not had a boyfriend in, like, 2.5 years. Like, I've dated,
Yeah.
but I'm not a person that needs to be in a relationship constantly. I like my life. I do a lot of things. I've got great friends, like, I have a social life, and I'm a mom, and so I'm busy. And I want to be with somebody that adds to that. And if I don't have somebody that adds to that, then I just would rather stay single because, like, life is good as is.
Yeah.
I'm not this, like, I'm an independent woman. I don't need no man. Like, I'm not that either. Like, I would like to have a man.
See, if men were smart, they would just pretend. Like, if they just want to get laid, right? They should at least pretend like they want to get to know you. Talk a little bit more, like, intellectually before they get to the
See, I
sexual
want them to
part.
be honest.
Well, I
If
think
all
they
you
do.
want is
Some
sex,
of them
I
do.
want you to just say, hey, I am not in a position to be in a relationship. I'm very busy with all my hobbies or whatever I'm doing, but I like you. I want to hang out with you.
But if he's honest, he's going to lose you.
No, no, no.
Probably.
If he's honest, he's
because
not gonna get in
tell me what you want and let me decide whether I want to be a part of that or not. Don't lie to me because then I'm going to be mad.
Yes.
Because I've hung out with guys that are like, I think you're great. We have fun together. Let's go. And, like, we would go out and have the best time and go on trips and do all this stuff. And it was like, I did not have an expectation because he let me know up front what it was.
But if they were honest, then maybe some of these guys that didn't want a relationship are not going to get any. So that's why some of them are dishonest, to be honest with you. Because if they came out and just said, you know what, I just got a divorce or maybe out of a relationship, I just want to get laid, most women would say, no, thank you.
I think if that's what you want, you should just, like, get on Tinder or get a prostitute or something. Like,
That's what they won't tell you, though.
No, because
I
then you
mean-
get caught up in, like, law enforcement. You might get arrested and shit like that. Look, come on. You got to be a realist, though. In ATB, there's people that are looking for genuine relationships. There's people that are just looking for friends. I've seen it all. I've seen people just looking to get laid. People have gotten married. There's tribes that have been formed. But it's not just ATB. That's every social group out there. They all get that way.
So do you
It's
think,
not just ATB.
Do you think that most men would be honest with you as a man? Let's say that you didn't want a relationship, you just wanted something more superficial. Are you going to tell a woman that?
I mean, it depends on the guy and his integrity and, like, his character.
I think Mike would
mean,
tell.
I would definitely, straight up.
But do you think
Like-
most men would?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of men would. Like Tiffany was saying, if a guy's talking to Tiffany and he has a chance to take her all the way, he's not going to come out and say, "Hey, I'm just trying to have sex with you." He's going to lead up and say, "Hey, I'm heartbroken. I just want to find somebody I can share my life with."
Well, that's a red flag.
Yes.
Well,
Heartbroken, just got out of a relationship.
Yes.
No offense. I run.
I'm a big
Yes.
fucking red flag right now.
I run.
So that's
I need you to heal yourself, boo.
See, that's a red flag. I think that's women need to be able to see that realistically and kind of filter accordingly. Like if they really want a relationship, even if he's acting a certain way, look at his actions, look at what he's been through, and then call bullshit if you need to.
Right.
Because it's not really too hard if you really look at their actions, what the real deal is, even if they're telling you something else.
I think I just need to get out of the habit of continuing to give my time and attention to relationships that aren't going anywhere. Like once I see it's not progressing, I need to figure out how to move on. And I think I don't know how because nothing's wrong. Like, I'm like, but it's Friday and we always go to this taco place on Friday. I don't want to not see him anymore. Like I enjoy his company and I know it's not going anywhere, but we have a great time. And like my friends like him and his friends like me. And
So your
and
friends.
I just go with, but I need to say to myself, this is not going in the direction that I'm looking for. So I need to cut it. I have a really hard time with that.
I think a lot of it goes back from, though, our own beliefs we have about ourselves and what we've been through, like in our life experience, even as children, and how we deal with it. Like maybe for some reason we're attracting that type of person that we don't want because we want to believe that sooner or later we can prove to that person that we're worthy. I
don't ever try to change anybody. I don't ever think people change for you. I think they change if they want to. For me, it's really just not, I don't feel like anything is wrong, so why would I walk away? There's nothing wrong.
So what about this? I think this is what a lot of singles struggle with. How can you be single and not be lonely?
For me, I get lonely. Like, I'm a cuddler. I love to cuddle. I don't care. Like, I'm not bisexual. It's okay if you are.
Shocker. Spoiler alert.
No.
But like, even if it's like my friend, like a girl, I love to just like go out, have a good time. We've been dancing all night. We go back home and like pass out in jammies and
so hang out
snacks in bed.
Hang out in places where you can meet people, And guess what?
That's rough.
ATB has events. You can actually meet people at events.
That's what I hear.
When's the last time you've been to an event?
Listen. Let me just say I've been to dozens and dozens of events.
Yes, you were a moderator back in the day.
I
yes.
used to have events, and they were fun, and I had a great time, and I met great people. I've got good friends from ATB, but romantically, I've not been interested in anybody. So here's what I want to ask. You know all these posts from guys that are like, good guys exist, but women don't want to give us a chance because they're not attracted to us. You've seen them.
Ugly, right?
I hate those posts. I hate them. Because you're saying when you post that, I know I am not traditionally attractive, but I'll be nice to you, and you're a mean person for not giving me a chance. Excuse me, sir. I need to be attracted to you to want to get naked with you.
Yeah.
I am not an awful person. I'm not going to force myself to be attracted to you. So stop telling me that I don't want a good man because I'm not giving y'all a chance. Just because I'm not attracted to you also doesn't mean you're not attractive. It just means no thank you. But I get tired of guys like trying to shame me because I'm not interested in them.
What do you
I have flaws. I'm not this person that's like, oh no, you got to have a 6-pack and make 6 figures or don't even talk to me. Anybody that's known me for any period of time knows I'm not like superficial like that. So it really upsets me when guys get angry with me for not giving them a chance because I'm not attracted. So how do we like let a guy know like you might be great, you might be nice, but I'm just not attracted to you without them being offended or them think we're a bitch? Because
they're probably going to get offended anyway and probably give you some smart ass banter or something.
I mean, guys have gotten kicked out of bars because I've said no thank you.
Yeah.
And they have lost their shit to the point where the bartender was like, you're out.
Well, what do you think about this? I heard something the other day that I hate to admit I totally agree with. So, in life, we often pick partners that make us feel excited and not bored and stimulated, right? So I heard something the other day that said there'll be a woman in a room, there'll be 10 guys in there that adore her, buy her drinks, talk to her, make her feel special. And in comes the one man that ignores her. And that's the one she wants.
I've heard that before. I
But
think
I
it's bullshit.
think this is the thing, though. No, I think there's some realistic,
Maybe when I was
saying
younger,
to that,
but not now. I don't have time for that.
because we all want somebody that stimulates us, that doesn't give us everything we want right away. We don't want somebody to smother us because that is too comfortable. For some reason, we all kind of desire somebody that is I don't want to say challenged because that word is just used too much, but you want somebody that stimulates you that's not boring, right? Well, what's not boring is often not good for you. So people don't want boring, but boring is actually sometimes what you need because it's stable, it's stability. And you don't want that person that's constantly making you think what's going on. But for some reason, a lot of relationships don't work out because that's the person we pick. The person that doesn't give us stability, the person that makes us feel comfortable. We're always guessing what's going on. Do they like me? Do they not like me? Do they want a relationship? Do they not want a relationship? Why can't we just pick the person that says, I want a relationship?
I don't know. I don't think I've dealt with that for many years because if I don't know where we stand, I walk. That's the thing with me where I'm just like, if you talk to me for 5 days straight and then you disappear and one day you're all about me and then the next day you acting different, I'm just completely turned off. I just need the consistency. I won't deal with that.
Well, that's good.
I won't.
All right. So one thing with this I wanted to do, I wanted to go inside the group and find a post that would be kind of interesting to talk about. I'm not going to mention the name because ATB is a private group, but this post right here, it reads, what are your get-to-know questions that you ask a potential date/partner? Something beyond the basics of what they do. What they do for fun, kids, pets, taste, and music, food, etc. That's one thing that I hate. Okay, and I'll get back to this in a minute. But when you're on ATB, you're on a dating site, and you initiate contact with a female, all right, it's always the same boring 15 minutes.
The resume.
And I hate it. You know, how are you? Fine. How are you? What are you doing? What do you do? And I hate the what do you do question. I fucking hate it. And then it just like, after like 10 minutes of that, especially if they take like 2 minutes to respond to each message, you know, and I'm like,
so you hate
it's a waste of time. I hate the initial banter because it's boring.
It feels like an interview.
Because it's boring. But
It's
maybe
boring.
that's what you need is boring, right? Because we all want the exciting.
And I am not boring.
I know you're not
I need-
boring.
But it's like everybody, even very exciting, interesting people. Like you said, that first 15 minutes is just like it's the resume. You just got to get it out of the way.
It sucks, but it's like standard. It's like a part. It's essential.
Let
You
me
have
see if I'm interested in you enough to even want to meet up.
But isn't
you gotta
that
get
necessary?
That out. Yeah, I think that's what I was about
Yeah.
to say. I think it sucks, but I think it's necessary. It's my least favorite
Like,
part of
have
dating.
you been in jail? Have you? Is there anything I need to know? Do
well,
you like men?
funny
Do
you should say that because that's kind of on this post right here.
Yeah.
So we have some members that are commenting, do you have all your teeth? Which is very
Yes.
important. I couldn't date a woman with missing
How about
any
if she had
teeth.
dentures? There's some pretty hot women that have dentures.
Oh,
Well, if they fall out
I
during
knew
like
it. As soon as she said it, I was like, no.
You could get gummed.
Yeah.
That might be
Oh,
pleasurable.
God.
well, aren't
A
they
little
using
gumming action.
like Fix-A-Dent? That shit should be like
I
up
don't know.
in
Would you
there.
date somebody with dentures?
I would.
Maybe I have it. Don't know.
I'm a dental assistant. As long as your teeth look good, I don't care if
Yeah.
they're real or not. They just need to look good.
I had a guy that had like a partial, and I was like, oh my God, when he took that out. But, you know, I
I
liked
dated a
him
guy
as
with
a
a
person.
partial. It didn't bother me.
No,
at
it didn't bother me.
Like
He did look funny
They-
a little bit.
all. Did he?
He took that shit out, and I was like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he took it out?
Well, you've got to take it out at night.
Like
You can't sleep
where was
with
the
it.
partial at though? Was it in the front?
Yeah, it was kind of in
Like-
the front. Like he had some summer teeth after he took them out, and I was like,
Is it a hockey player or something? Or?
no, I didn't ask.
They
him
probably
why.
don't even put partials in.
I didn't
They're
ask him
probably
why
over
he
there.
lost his teeth. I guess I should have.
I am fine with like whatever restorative thing you need to do to get your smile back right. Just please, just have all of the teeth there.
And if you're missing
many
teeth and they're in the back, then you can't see them when you smile. Then I'm fine with it.
Yeah, but then they chew weird because you need your chewing teeth.
I am not looking at somebody chewing their food, Tiffany.
Yes,
You're
you
not-
are. Yes,
Really?
you are.
Right? Come on, everybody does.
Like if they're like,
yeah, if you're
Yeah.
eating, if you're in, it's in the front, like.
yeah, you're like, okay, we're breaking up. I don't like how you're chewing your food. It's done.
Can you imagine being on a date with somebody and they chew with their front teeth?
I don't know. I've seen some people chew some pretty fucked up ways. Yeah, and then I'm like, I can't.
What's
live
the
with
most
you
fucked up
forever.
way you've seen somebody chew?
I want an
You
impression.
have to do it right
I
now.
want an impression.
And I'm like, what are you doing, sucking
I'm
a bottle?
sitting here trying to think
Oh,
about
my God.
how somebody would chew with no back teeth. Like what that would even look like.
They
I don't
couldn't
know.
grind their meat.
I'd be okay with no back teeth, but I don't want to see a bunch of missing teeth. Like, I really need you aesthetically to look okay and have teeth.
Okay, so we have established that no teeth or missing teeth is a deal breaker.
Deal breaker.
What other
It
deal
just depends
breakers?
how many teeth are missing.
All right, so here's another one a member posted. Sleeping conditions. Fan, no fan, TV on, no
Oh, who
TV.
cares?
Oh, yeah.
Ideal
that's-
sleeping temp.
Who cares?
No, I care. This is ideal. I
Stop.
cannot sleep with a TV on.
What does sleep
I-
mean to you? Like, sleep
What does
means
sleep
If I've
mean?
you're
got a
going to sleep.
checklist and you check all the boxes and you like to sleep with a fan and I don't, we're gonna work that shit out.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. We gotta.
We're
we
gonna
gotta
let
think
them
about
Are,
know
what's
that
are
really
you
man.
cold
important.
bodied? Like, can you.
I like to sleep with a fan most of the time, but sometimes my allergies act up. and I
Tiffany,
don't-
do you sleep? Do you sleep naked, Tiffany?
You're like,
no, I'm a big t-shirt. I like a big t-shirt.
Big t-shirt. You're a big t-shirt girl too, right? No, you said you don't like clothes earlier. Offline. She's a naked girl. She
I
sleeps
don't-
naked.
I plead the
Naked.
fifth.
That
I
means
do not
yes.
talk about how I
sleep
sleep
with like
naked.
anything else but just the big t-shirt. It just feels comfortable like the big t-shirt.
No.
I cannot sleep in silence. Like, you're gonna have to get your own room if I can't listen to my fan.
Oh, I like I have
Yeah,
a white
well-
noise out.
Like, I'll cuddle with you, and then you can go in your own room because I will wake up if I'm in silence.
Yeah, I don't like silence.
See, why do we need to marry somebody anyway? Just go have fun. You can go on vacations, love each other, and then go the fuck home.
Here's another point that another member puts out. Are you in a relationship? Does anyone think they are in a relationship with you?
Ay, ay.
I mean, that's
Well, I
kind
would
of.
hope that would be a discussion, right? I know
Well-
nobody thinks they're in a relationship with me unless they're on, like,
Well,
delusional.
when you're in a social group or a singles group like ATB, you talk
You
to several
automatically
different
think
people,
they're
and
single.
maybe like you've been on a couple of dates with one person, but you're still testing the field out and still talking to others.
That's still single.
just the society we live in. But does she think or does he think because they went on 2 dates that they're on the cusp, the brink
No.
of a
No.
relationship?
You are exclusive when you
That's
have a
you.
conversation
That's
about
you two.
exclusivity.
But
maybe
what
some
about if
people
you have
do.
sex, though? Because if you're
Doesn't
deciding
matter
to be
me.
physical with
That's
that
after the
person,
first date.
no, that's like after the 10th.
Oh my God!
Oh, that's after 3 months.
The ice queen
Yeah,
is
that's
in the
after-
house.
That's after a
Oh.
year.
We're gonna date for 3 months before
Yeah,
we
you
get
gotta
it on.
earn this for
Yeah.
JJ. Right?
Got a 90-day rule over here.
Yeah.
You know what? If I don't do it within 3 dates, then I'm probably
3
walking.
dates?
Yeah, man.
Well,
3
that's
dates.
maybe that's why things aren't working out. Like, you don't even know that person yet.
That was me before. I mean, like I said, and I quit. I hate to bring this up all the time, but I was just in a 2-year relationship, so I'm freshly out of it.
Okay, so you could still have it
this-
after 3
So
days.
you want to go through a hoe
mean-
phase right now?
I didn't say that, Tiffany. Jesus Christ, what is going on? I'm cracking open another beer.
He's gonna like delete that part.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
no.
you better keep that
I am
part
not
in.
saying-
Not at all. Not
But
at
that's
all.
where it gets complicated. If you have
I-
sex with somebody, like, you're not going to want to imagine them going out, like, in these groups, doing
But
that with
if
everybody
you
else.
get your
do
feelings
that-
hurt, right?
Nope. I disagree with y'all. If you have sex with somebody, that is the risk you take.
Yes.
Because you did not have a talk about exclusivity before you decided to have sex.
That's why I'm not doing it.
But most
So,
people don't
afterwards-
have talks about
Yes,
exclusivity
adults
after
need to.
1 or 2
That's
dates.
because
No,
women
you
get
don't.
all crazy
So
after.
don't expect somebody to just be
Yeah.
exclusive with you just because you gave up the buns.
I want to know right now what the percentage of people that sleep with each other after the first date is.
Well, you know what?
Y'all-
It says that it's actually most
I am-
people
He's gonna
wait
look it
like
up.
7
I'm looking
days
this up.
But that can't be accurate.
I
don't
feel
believe
like
that.
5 dates feels kind of standard.
Look it up. You'll be surprised. It's after like 10 or 11 dates.
I want to know who these people are waiting after 10 or 11 dates because I don't know any of them in real life.
Oh, we are.
Except for me and you, because we're
except
3
for
monthers.
me and you, girl.
Yeah.
Because...
All right, are you ready for this? And you're going to be shocked to hear this fact. But
3 months.
According to the interwebs, all right, glamour.com. I don't know how much credibility glamour.com has. Nearly half of men, 46%, have taken their first dates to bed, while just 33% of women admitted to the same. And I will probably say 77% of those women lied.
No.
Why?
No, maybe it's not that high. It's like 60%. All right. But surprisingly, age doesn't seem to be much of a factor when it comes to first date sex. 22% of adults ages 18 to 24 have had it, while 39% of adults 25 to 54 have hopped in the sack during date number 1. So it is, you want this lovey-dovey thing.
30-40% of people.
That's why relationships aren't working out, because you start when you have sex with somebody, you release these feel-good hormones that you want more of that.
Endorphins,
yes,
yeah.
And you can fall in love with totally the wrong person. So all of a sudden you would have a relationship with this person that that's not any good for you. So
I wonder sometimes if I am not a person that's in relationships often because I don't easily fall in love. Because I talk to a lot of women that are like, after the 3-month mark, they're like in love. And I'm like, I am still trying to decide.
Yeah, that's a strong word. I don't throw it
A
out.
lot of that can be your own defense mechanism.
It could be.
For not wanting to be disappointed or not wanting to be abandoned or not wanting to be hurt.
And I was reading that ultra independence is a trauma response.
Yes, it is. So
a
lot of these go back to trauma responses.
Yeah.
All right, let's move right along. Here we go. Here's another good one. Smoker or 420 friendly.
I don't care about...
How about pot? Still a thumbs down?
As long as you don't smell like it when we go out.
I'm okay with that. As long as you're not like a stoner, like sitting at home. Because a lot of people use medical marijuana or you need it for anxiety.
Just pop a gummy.
Yeah.
And nobody has to smell it. And we're good. You can just be feeling good.
That's not the same as holding it, though, and just getting that.
Not
that I would anyway. I'm a federal employee. I don't do that shit. So, yeah.
Cigarettes is a no-go for me.
Yeah, me too.
I can't kiss you if you smoke cigarettes.
I'm not that
or
big.
Or chew tobacco. Ew.
That's the worst, right? You get a big old...
Oh,
because we're sitting there talking, and they just got a bottle of soda and just spitting it in there while we're talking.
Oh, my God.
Well, I'm not dating anybody that chews tobacco.
And he told me after we were dating 3 months, he was having like this nicotine fit that he had to go chew tobacco. And I'm like, listen, I can't date you forever. Like, if you're having these spitters all over the house, like, no.
To have that in your mouth, just spitting it.
No.
That's nasty.
It is nasty. That was a deal breaker for sure.
All right. So we got, here's a good one. How do you handle conflict? Because the silent treatment shit is dead.
Yeah.
That's hard because a lot of people don't know how to do that. They'll sit around and act pouty and they won't talk to you if something's on their mind. Like, for instance, I can think of some example that kind of just happened. I was at the bar with somebody and a guy was talking to a girl and he thought something was up, but he wouldn't address the situation. He was around her and wouldn't talk to her. And it kind of made everything awkward. So I'm like, what the fuck?
What do you mean? Like if they're upset about something, but they won't tell that person?
Like if, I don't know, like if that person thinks they're talking to somebody else.
Oh.
Like if, let's just say you were going to meet a guy at a bar you had been talking to. Mm-hmm. Okay. And that, you came with me. All right. Mm-hmm. Or no, or let's just say, no.
Me and her came together.
Y'all came together.
Me and Ann came together.
No. Y'all did? Oh, what happened? What happened there? I missed something.
Wait, no.
No, like, me and Ann came together.
Uh-huh.
All right. And the guy that she was going to meet there, no, hold on. No, I came with the guy and Ann came with a group of friends and was hanging out with them. All right. But there was a guy sitting beside Ann that kind of made the guy think that he was threatened. Like you came with somebody else, right? All right. And then he didn't know how to react to that. So he didn't talk to you. He kind of like brushed you off the whole night and just like said 2 or 3 things to you.
That has nothing to do with me, though. That's his own internal trigger that
Insecurities.
comes from maybe as a
But-
child or maybe as a young adult that he felt neglected or abandoned. So I think it's helpful, like a lot of times people have those feelings, to realize that it's not that person causing them, it's their own insecurities. So
Yeah.
to like check the facts, like, do I know there was somebody else? Like, are they here with a group? Have we established we're in a relationship? A lot of times people don't communicate, so therefore there's a lot of barriers and assumptions. They have to communicate to really understand what's going on. You know, if they don't, they're just going off of their own insecurities and assumptions.
So they don't know how to handle the conflict.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the,
Yeah.
that's the
Deal
thing.
breaker.
Yeah.
If you got an issue and you can't talk to me about it, you just get in your feelings about it and avoid it or act like it never happened and just try to move on without discussing it first. Deal breaker.
It is hard though, because we all have that sometimes, but I think it's good.
Being an adult is having hard conversations.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable.
Or just,
I just had
yeah.
a friend. I met a new friend. It's a girl. And she said something to me that she said my face made it seem like I didn't like what she said. And I remember what she said, and I kind of was like, oh, well, that was an interesting choice of words, and I just moved on, right? She messaged me that night and said, I looked up what I said. Bad choice of words. I did not mean that derogatory, and I want you to forgive me.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really hard thing for her to message me.
But
Can
that
you
was,
imagine?
That was also really good for your relationship.
And I was like, you know what? I respect you so. I said, first of all, I wasn't offended. You just caught me off guard a little bit. But thank you for thinking enough of my feelings to apologize. And that shows me a lot about your character.
Wouldn't that be great
that
if
you did
yeah,
that?
yeah.
And then I'm like, man, you know what? She was a woman. Men don't do that.
But wouldn't that be great if a man did say to you, hey,
It would be amazing.
I felt this trigger last night that you were interested in this other person, or that you weren't interested in me. Are you interested in me? How do you feel about me? Where are we going with this connection? You know, then you don't have these assumptions and you have more of a solid base to move forward.
Yeah.
Instead of people feeling insecure and being like, what the fuck's going on?
But once I say, no, I was not interested in that person,
Yeah,
then you need to let it go.
exactly.
Because then you're just insecure and that I am completely turned
Oh,
off.
some people are really jealous.
But then they get in. Yeah, there's jealousy is
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
big thing. But a lot of guys, I don't know. I'm just seeing screenshots. Okay, I get sent screenshots. Like I said earlier, a lot of guys will stay in a woman's DMs and will talk to themselves. Like all you see is
I got
like
guys
blue,
who've
blue,
been
blue,
messaging
blue,
me
blue,
since
blue, all the way down,
2012.
and you've never responded.
No, and it's just a long, hey,
They
how
shoot
are
their
you?
shot every
Looking
day.
good. And then sometimes they'll go like a year and a half, 2 years, and I won't hear from them. I'm like, all right, they stopped. Nope, here they come back again.
I used to respond.
I always say, look what the selfie dragged in.
I used to respond, but now I don't feel like I have to respond.
You don't.
Like, just because I accept you as a friend and you decide to send me this, I mean, no offense if you have sent me this, it is not my obligation to respond back if I don't feel like I need to.
You don't even say hi.
No.
Like, no.
No,
Just-
not when we've already established
Yeah.
I'm not interested. I'm not going to.
But you accepted the friend request.
Hi.
But that doesn't mean that I need to accept that we're going to message back and forth.
Right.
Just because you messaged me does not mean
But don't you think you should at least give like a courtesy, like hi, and then cut
Courtesy.
it off? Like a courtesy hi, like you just accepted my friend request, and he
Yeah,
messaged you and says,
that's fine.
"Hey, how are you? Thanks for accepting my friend request." And you come back with something like a retort, like, "Hey, no problem. Nice to meet you." But
Yeah.
then that's when you start pumping the brakes,
Yeah.
because when you come back with your remark, you're kind of opening the door just a little bit, and then that's when they'll take advantage and
But
they'll
doesn't
start a
it-
conversation.
yeah.
Then you gotta like come back with the defensive.
But not me
aggressive.
messaging you is a message.
Sometimes no
Wait,
response
what'd you just
is
say?
a response.
Not me messaging you is a message. I
That's
accept.
like Amber Heard saying, "I didn't hit you, Johnny. I punched you."
No, that's
Please
totally
don't punched you,
different.
no, I didn't hit you.
That's totally
Come
different.
on.
It's my polite way of saying I accepted you as a friend, but there's not going to be a personal connection here. So
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
not you messaging me telling me you find me attractive and this is why you friended me. Me not messaging you back is a message saying I'm not interested, but I'm okay with being a friend on Facebook. Nothing more.
Depends on how you send that message.
Not at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Because
just say.
I used to send them, but then it's this constant back and forth, and I don't
Well,
have...
why? Well, what's wrong with me? Oh,
Yeah.
you never want to give good guys a chance because I don't fit
Yes.
the mold. And,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
So-
it's just easier for
Just
us
came
not
full
to
circle. You
respond.
see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, back.
You don't understand. We get like attacked for not being interested.
Yes,
Well,
exactly.
you should have been born with a penis, and you don't have to worry about this
Well,
shit.
hopefully
If
next life.
reincarnation is
Yes.
the thing, I'm coming back as
Well,
a
you
man.
can
Oh, me
identify
too.
as one if you want now, and it's all good.
It's totally
No,
different.
I am
Like,
not.
I better be born with one. I just want to try it out for once. This vagina thing
What?
is over.
Tell me
Cellulose.
why. Why do you want to try out a penis?
Well, not try it out, be born with one.
No,
I'm
I
sure
mean,
we
but,
try
I
out
mean,
lots of penises, right?
yeah,
I mean,
but-
I have not tried out lots of penises, Anne.
oh yeah, just a couple.
But you want to try one out as a man to see, like, well, what would
Yes.
you do? Would you just look in the mirror at it and like
no,
play with it? Or?
I'm not talking
No.
about physical. I'm just
Yeah.
talking about like being a man. I don't care what anybody says. There is an advantage to being a man. Number one,
You just want to pee standing up.
I don't want
No.
I don't care about the anatomy. I care about the societal view of being
yes,
a man.
and
Yeah.
hormones suck.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, men have to deal with testosterone decrease as they get older, but God, there's so much more. Like, I'm sorry, here's one example, and I don't care what any man says. It's totally acceptable for a man to date a younger woman. But me being, at whatever age, dating a younger man,
how old
he's
are you, Anne?
Oh, I am like 35.
You put me on the spot.
Well, yeah.
Okay, 40s.
40s. So
Okay.
me dating a younger man, all of a sudden, like, oh my God, like that's not as acceptable.
I don't think that's right.
No, it is right.
I feel like
don't
cougars
think that's right.
get picked on.
No,
Yeah.
it is totally right. Mostly because younger men still want to have a family, right?
Ugh, my uterus.
Oh, my uterus does not want any more babies.
No.
And-
Like I've had guys when I say like younger guys try to date me, and I'm like, listen, like I ain't gonna say no names, but one of my friends decided he was gonna play matchmaker
Mm-hmm.
Did she just roll her eyes?
and
a little?
Yeah,
tried
she kinda looked at
to
you.
hook me up with somebody for. I'm still waiting on them to give me the reason why they thought me and this person were compatible. Okay,
I don't know what she's talking about, actually.
the person. Let me just tell you, the guy, cute as a button, like 11 years younger than me.
Wait,
Okay.
is this on Mystical?
I'm here's the
And-
matchmaker here.
Was this
and-
Mystical Matchmaker thing?
Maybe.
Oh.
No
Super
man should be
nice,
matchmaker.
kind, cute. Like, I'm sure will be good for somebody 11 years younger than me. So I asked my matchmaker friend, can you explain to me your thought process
No,
in
it's
this,
Mystical.
in this match? No thought went into it at all. Just
I'm guessing the matchmaker must have
And-
been a man.
And,
definitely.
And
Yeah.
I cannot reveal my secrets, my mystical ways of doing the matching.
You're fired. I think you,
You
need
know.
a woman on board.
I
But
will
you know
never,
what?
ever. This is my first time saying,
No.
you know what? Let somebody do it. I'm not doing a super good job. And this is what I get.
Tiffany.
But you know what? He
look-
could have been like
Yeah.
he could have been a good match if he already had
And,
kids, and he was like an old soul at heart.
Come on. You're not
Look,
helping me.
and it's not all about. So the whole mystical Mike's matchmaker thing. It's not about finding your true love. It might happen. Who knows? You might. It's like playing the lottery. But you also might find somebody in there that you have a good conversation with, and
I
you
have
become
enough
friends.
friends. I don't- come
but
on.
Tiffany. But you know, and then it might suck. Maybe you just got one that sucked.
He didn't suck. He was just
You
not
never got to that
as-
point. You don't know. He might have.
We we exchanged like 3 messages back and forth.
So you
See,
never
I-
got to the sucking part.
I met a good guy. He was actually 16 years younger than me. We were
Ooh.
both like on the same level.
So do you like younger?
Not usually.
Okay.
But I really like this guy. He's such a nice guy. But he still wants a family and he still wants children.
Ooh.
And I can totally respect that. Like, we're not going to have a relationship that's going to be long term, but I really appreciate him where he's at, and he's a good person. And yeah, but if I was a man dating somebody younger who still wanted kids, I don't think it matters so much, just because, as you get older as a woman, like, your eggs kind of shrivel up, and plus we're smart.
But you don't want your eggs when you're older.
We don't want kids after we had them. We
I don't
know.
want any more kids.
Well, that's
and-
another question. Okay, so let's go back to our ATB wall here. Where was it at? Do you like animals? Or no, that's almost like the kid's question though.
No, animals are not like kids.
So I don't see it up here now because I think I scrolled
see it.
down.
I saw it.
Oh, here we go. So She won't mind if I mention her name. This is from Beth Semino Tomlinson. She's a moderator in the group. She says, if they have kids, how would you describe your co-parenting relationship? I'm not making an automatic assumption about anyone who is less than ideal, but if it's not good, it's likely that person is the source of the drama they were married to. Someone who can relate to my situation. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it takes two to tango, but usually it's only one person who is willing to admit they made mistakes that created the problem. Oh, so she's going a whole different way from what I was going to say.
Yeah, that's a.
She's like saying, okay, so if you don't have your kids, then you must have been the problem.
No, I think kids in general are just freaking hard. People don't understand that don't have kids, that want to have kids. They're wonderful little things, and I love my son to death, but they are...
Would you date somebody with little ones?
Would I? Yeah, I love kids.
We'll say like 12 and below.
12 and below, yes. I think if they were like...
I wouldn't. I'm done.
Little, no.
I would prefer 12 and older.
But I can't say for sure.
I would make an exception.
You know?
Like, if you check all the other boxes, then we'll accept that kind of person. But, I mean, you got to check all the boxes if you got, like, a 3-year-old.
But the good thing about men, they only...
Because I'm going to be like, I got to go back to the potty training and the time.
Like, I'm struggling. If Gail Gadot said, oh, Mike Bird, I'm in love with you.
Who's that?
Wonder Woman.
Oh,
she is pretty.
Oh, God, if she said, I'm in love with you, but I got a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 10-year-old, I'd be like, fuck you.
No, not really, because think about it. If she has a good, ex, he probably has him either half of the time or at least some of the time.
No, you got to have him sometime.
Yes.
I love kids. I love kids. I'm a kid person. I can't.
I never had a break. Never. I had my son 100% of the time.
Okay, so you feel me.
Yeah, so if I would have dated somebody, which I did date somebody that only had them, I think he had them Wednesdays and every other weekend, that makes all the difference in the world. So yes, I could date somebody with little kids because a lot of dads nowadays have them 50-50. Mm-hmm. So just think 50% of the time you are free.
Mm.
Yeah,
I never had that advantage.
It's hard for me. It's hard. Just dealing with somebody else's kids is hard.
That's what causes you to get all them kids in the first place, because it's hard.
I have a question. What do you think when you date somebody and they say, oh my gosh, if they say, I just want to be friends and take it really slow and see what happens? How long do you give them to realize that maybe they don't want to be friends with you anymore, that they want to be more? What do you think?
I feel like the 3-month mark, man.
How long does it take to realize that you're worth something? Or I
was reading an article one time that said if you've been with somebody for a year and you don't know if you want to, if you've been dating someone for a year, you know whether you want to marry them or not.
I'm talking if they say, I want to take it really slow and be friends. Mm-hmm. How long does that last?
What's going on in the friendship?
You're just being friends.
Okay, well then now you're just your friend. If they're I want to date and take it really slow and you're dating, but you're not rushing exclusivity or commitment, that's one thing. If you're actually dating, but if you're really just friends, then...
Don't you think if they say that, though, truly they're not interested, that they're just kind of holding you there in that pattern?
No, because I've told guys I want to take it slow, and I want to be in a committed relationship.
Yeah,
but I just don't want to rush it. I just don't
That's how I am. I'd rather be friends with somebody now and see what happens rather than rushing it. Because if you rush it, then a lot of times within a month, let's say you rush it physically, that you're okay, never mind.
So I think it's just we're using different terminology. I think we have the same idea.
Yeah.
For me, being friends means
You're welcome.
It's we are literally friends. And
don't do that on a first date.
And we're not dating.
Yeah.
Look, would you rather... Oh, wait, no, you go ahead, keep talking, I'll find it.
We're playing Would You Rather.
I don't. If we're actually dating, I don't. I was just telling I don't need more friends. I'm not recruiting more friends. I don't want to meet a guy that he's my new guy friend that we're hanging. I'm not interested at all in a guy telling me let's just be friends. Mm-hmm. I'm done there. That's a cutoff for me. If he wants to date and take it slowly, okay, as long as we're dating. If we're not even dating, and we're just friends, I'm just not.
But Tiffany, I got a more important question.
Yes.
All right. So, would you rather on your very first date with a person have hiccups the whole time, or fart midway through and your date notices it and says something?
Hiccups.
Well, what do you
Hiccups?
think? Who wants to
Come on.
fart on a date?
Hiccups.
I would much rather hear her fart than hear her go.
On the first date.
Oh my
The
God,
whole
no,
time.
you wouldn't.
No, because
What if your hiccups are constant, like every 3 seconds?
I had that happen to me
Yes.
before, and a guy was flirting with me in the grocery store. I'm not even kidding. I was in the Harris Teeter, and I had hiccups, and I was with my son, and he's laughing, and I was like, "It's starting to hurt. It just won't stop."
But see,
and I just kept. And this
that's
guy was like
cute.
walking past, and he laughed, and I was like, "I'm so sorry. I just can't." And he goes, "It's awful, right?"
Wouldn't you
I
rather
hate
just
when
go,
that happens. And then we're
No.
like
And then
talking,
be done with it?
and I'm talking to him, and I'm hiccuping, and he's like laughing the whole time. I was like, "Oh, I think he's flirting, and he's kind of cute, but I'm with my son."
See, that's
so.
cute to hiccup, to totally fart like on a date. You're like, hey.
Have you ever done that? You ever farted on a date?
No.
Never farted on a date.
Have you ever? How long do you have to date someone before you're comfortable, like farting in front of
After
them?
we had sex.
I'm trying to think.
You've heard all the other
I
songs.
don't.
I am going to try to hold that in until we get married.
Really?
I am not going to fart if I can help it.
I mean, for real, like.
But you know what? That's good. I mean, to be yourself. I mean, why try to not fart? But yeah, I haven't.
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you right now.
Oh, you're a guy.
I've only heard a small amount of females fart.
So what do you
'Cause we
think?
don't-
Like a
do
small
that.
amount. Why not though? Y'all eat the same shit we do. You build the same
Our
gases.
bodies are not built the same. We
Like,
don't have to let it out.
Yeah,
right
but
then
when
the
they're
way y'all
farting,
do.
it was probably like somebody that you've been with for a while or an accident,
And
right?
we know how to let
Oh.
it out silently, and y'all don't know how to do that either. And I'm not going to teach you because it's our trick.
How would you teach somebody that?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Always,
here, this is
like,
what you
fart
do,
in their
Bird. You got to
sleep.
clench it and then sit down.
See, he don't even
nice
know.
and
He don't
low.
know.
I know. No, I don't fart silent. Sometimes I do. Like if I'm on a date and I'm sitting there in the booth and I feel it, I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like
All
clenching.
men fart in
and then,
their sleep. They do.
Oh yeah, I've got it on. I record. I used to record myself sleeping with an app for snoring because I
Yeah.
thought I had like sleep apnea. But man, you see some of those like it's like the little lines like what's those meters, heart
Yeah,
meters
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever, EKG. It's like, and I was like, oh, let me see what that was, and I click it and it's. I was like, oh, that was not a snore.
Have you ever slept with a guy and all of a sudden you're like scared shitless, like because he farts in the middle of the night?
No,
That
I'm
is the
just
scariest
always
thing
embarrassed
ever.
that he's going to wake up and realize I heard it because I just like to try to act like
No,
it didn't
I
happen.
start laughing hysterically because it wakes me up in the middle of the night.
I'm just like this, like, oh, it's like,
Oh, my
and I'm
God.
like,
and I'm like, what the? I'm
yeah, I
like,
just try to act like I'm sleeping. And then they always jump and like wake up and look over to see if you're asleep. And I'm like,
yeah. They wake up and I'm like, you just freaking farted in your sleep.
I
It was
just act like I'm
freaking
asleep.
hilarious.
we're never talking about this. I was asleep the whole time. I heard nothing.
We'll talk about it some other time. But guess what? You know what? Time flies when you're having fun. We've already been doing this for an hour.
Really?
And I think that's, we're going to lock up this episode of ATB The Show. Thanks again, ladies, Tiffany, Ann, for coming in. This has been fun. You guys are going to have to come in again. Are you ladies, you gals?
Mm-hmm.
What's your pronouns? I need to hear them.
Oh, God, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm fine with y'all, you
Whatever.
guys.
Is that a
whatever.
pronoun? That's not. That's an adjective, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah, that would be
I
an
don't,
adjective.
and I really
girl.
wasn't good at grammar. But anyway, well, hey, this is Mike. Thanks for joining us, ATB The Show. I almost ripped my headset off. Whoops. Subscribe to Naughty Donkey Productions, and you can see every episode of ATB The Show. If you want to be on the show, send me a DM, and maybe we can have you
Slide
in
his
studio,
DMs.
or maybe we can get you in the Zoom. We already had one person no-show us tonight. We're supposed to have 3 on, but I'm not going to mention any names.
Oh, we're good. You and I
Spears.
will make it.
But peace. Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Thanks again.